Australia's Victorian high country. Where to start? The high country is one of those places that every year lures me in. It was one of the first places I began filming content and spent a vast majority of time exploring as my love for four-wheel driving and camping grew. Unmatched mountain views, picturesque gorges, rivers and campsites you will not find anywhere else in the world quite like it. Welcome to the Victorian high country, one of the all-time greatest off-road destinations. Proudly supported by Outback Equipment and in part by Here begins our Victorian high country adventure across the Murray River, Australia's longest river that separates New South Wales and Victoria, and it's actually up a little bit at the moment. We've had a fair bit of rain in recent time. This is the deepest we've ever crossed it. Alright, we're across the other side and officially in the Victorian high country. As I said before, the Murray River divides it, sort of starts. So we are on a Victorian high country summer adventure for a couple of weeks out here. Very keen, very excited. First big trip away in a while, really, since like Cape York six months ago. It's not too long after Christmas, so we got myself and Kai in the nav. First trip away with a new train canopy setup. We got Demi in the big patrol, and then we got Dad in his MUX, so we got all three vehicles out here on this trip. Demi's 31 weeks pregnant and driving the patrol by herself and never really done much forward driving at all, so she's in for a fun trip. And once we've come across the river, you can go left or right. Left is towards Davies Plains, which we did last time. We've gone right and we're going to head up Mount Pinnabar this time. But we've just pulled up again on the Murray River a little bit further up where there's no one here, and we're going to have a swim and cool down. It's about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You got long hot days here this time of year, which is good. Well, not always hot, can get cold out here, but yeah, they're long days. Feeling much better after that swim. Been keen for that all day. It's been a long hot day driving. Little mud hole here on the way out of our swimming spot. It's coming up 6 o'clock. We're going to make the most of our first day out in the high country, and as I said, head up Mount Pinnabar. And it's a beautiful time of day to be driving, as well as it starts to cool down a bit, and then you get that less glare on the tracks and that from that really hot up high sun. Absolutely blinded by this sun now, heading up this mountain. We are on the Mount Pinnabar track, heading for the top of Mount Pinnabar, and in my opinion this is the best track in the area once you cross Tom Grogan. Davies Plains is really nice, but I think this one takes the cake for fun four-wheel driving. Nothing that hard, like you'd be able to do it in most stock low range four-wheel drives. just with a decent set of tyres on them, but it's just a nice steep climb with a few ruts and holes, and then just all-time high country views once you get to the top, so we're gonna be heading up there to enjoy that sunset this afternoon. Starting to get a little bit steep and chewed up now. That was rear locker in and had to hold it, you know, a little bit as it sort of churned and bucked a bit coming up there. The conditions of these tracks can just change so much year to year depending on whether they've graded it recently or not, so it's always hard to know what you're in for till you actually come here. Demi's up next in the patrol, which will do it easier than the nav. Definitely a few steep climbs on this track, and it's quite loose and chewed out at the moment with a few holes in that to contend with. So that locker definitely helps, otherwise you're kind of full sending it up these hills. Awesome fun though. I love it that it's not just like flat hills up to the top. You get to really work that low range. We've emerged out of the bush up the top of this Mount Pinnabar track, making the final climb to the summit now, and it's just an absolutely incredible place. Now you know you're in the Victorian high country. What do you reckon? Not a bad spot. Thoughts on your first day in the Victorian high country?
Hope I don't get eaten by a snake.
Here we are up the top of Mount Pinnabar. Just an absolutely amazing spot up here. We're the only ones up here. We beat the sunset. The sun's still going down out there. We got the cars parked up the top, and then you just 360-degree views all around you of nothing but mountain ranges as far as you can see. And that out through there is Mount Kosciuszko, and that you can sort of see the backside of it. And then yeah, just incredible spot. So cool to be up here and so good to be back in the high country. We're just organising the cars up the top here. Gonna park the nav there. It's not 100% flat, but it's close enough to get that rooftop tent up there, and Kyle's sleeping the swag over there somewhere, and Dad's just setting up there. It's always a bit of manoeuvring around that, organising everyone, but yeah, this is going to be the campsite for our first night up here in the high country, and what a spot to begin the trip with. Sit here and soak in that sunset, and then in the morning we're going to have a big sunset up over the mountains there, but it's cooling down quick. Even in the middle of summer up on these mountains it does still get cool, so we're going to have to get a fire going. Grab a drink out, enjoy the last of this sunset, light that fire to warm up, and then we're going to cook a bit of dinner. It's about 9:30 at night now. The stars are all starting to come out. I'm absolutely starving. Got some burgers for dinner. I'm gonna sit down, enjoy them. Awesome night up here atop Mount Pinnabar. We're just sitting by the fire now and enjoying a bit of brekkie and soaking in these 360-degree views. I'll grab the map out and sort of show where we came from yesterday and where we are. Yesterday afternoon we came in down through Jindabyne and then down past Thredbo, down into Tom Grogan, and that's where you can see Victoria, New South Wales divided by that Murray River there. Come across the river there, and then as I said, you got Davies Plain this way. We went this way, Mount Pinnabar track, and then this is where we camped last night, and we're up the top of the mountains here. And then today we're just going to come back down. We're going to do this Mount GIBBO track and probably sort of start making our way down into Omeo. Not 100% sure what we're going to do yet today. Have very little plans for this trip other than make it up day to day of what we're going to do. Anyways, time to pack up camp and head on out of here. You can actually see the track where we're going. When you stand on these hills, you can just see tracks all over them everywhere. But we're going to head back down that one, and then we turn onto that ridge line there and then follow that all the way up to Mount GIBBO. So you can see the track there running along, and that's Mount GIBBO, and it gets pretty steep, that final climb out there. Came back down off that Mount Pinnabar towards Tom Grogan again, and then only a couple of k's down there you turn right, and I believe this is still called the Mount Pinnabar track, but it takes us up towards Mount GIBBO, so that's the one we're on now. Just another nice low range high country track, a little bit steep in sections, a little bit rough in sections, so you just sort of generally between second and third gear low range on it. I think this track gets a bit steep and interesting in the last section before the top of the hill, before the top of the mountain. So yeah, we'll just keep cruising along and then see how we go. Oh, we've got a nice steep hill climb here to kick us off on this track. I don't think they've graded this track since I did it maybe 2-3 years ago, because it's in worse condition since then. Gonna chuck that rear locker in. Look, you don't need it, but it just makes it easier rather than sort of spinning and jerking all over the place. Then I'll whack the Ultimate 9 throttle controller on maybe like a U3, and it just helps throttle control your way up this hill, because that's really what it is about. Sort of throttle control, and that just softens it up for you, so you're not like, not when you're accelerating, you're not like kicking and jerking. It's just nice and slow. Just like that, we're up, nice and smooth. Demi's up next in the patrol. I've told her to not even worry about lockers and that. That thing doesn't need them unless you get real serious. It just seems to be making a joke of all this stuff out here. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I wish I was driving it, to be honest. That was no lockers as well.
Yeah.
Makes it look easy, eh?
Yeah, she drives it good.
Yeah, just with that solid front and solid rear both moving together.
Yeah.
Think you're so clever.
Was that supposed to be hard?
Show off. He said he wants to have a turn.
No.
I said you'll have to drive that. You have to swap, and you can drive the MUX for a bit. This is the last steep section before the top that I remember from last time, and it gets a little bit steep and rocky and rutted out here. Looks like they have made a track to the side now, but that's already pretty chewed up and soft and loose too. And then yeah, you got the main one here, but it's definitely a steep little gnarly pinch, this one. I'm gonna send Demi first in the patrol, then Dad's to get them up out of the way here. Alright, that's Demi up in the patrol, Dad in the MUX. See how we go in the nav here. The problem with this thing is the weight on it. Stalled it on that step there. A little bit of jerking up that step, and then here we are at the top of Mount GIBBO. Top of Mount GIBBO. There's a sign here that says 1,750 meters above sea level. Once again, just nothing but 360-degree high country views all around you, and I can't believe this weather. There's barely any wind up here. It's such a nice day. There's a few little clouds around at the moment, just blocking out that sun, which is actually nice from the heat. We're going to soak in these views for a little bit and then head off down the other side, and then we might have lunch further along the track somewhere. Down off that Mount GIBBO, down into the valley here at some sort of camp setup, but there's an awesome little creek over there. We're going to have a swim, and we've got a nice shady spot here to chill and have some lunch and have a swim and soak it all in.
What'd you say? 10, 11, 12, 13.
Anybody want some grapes? I'm having a few. We have arrived at tonight's camp spot on the Midda River. We ended up hanging out at that lunch spot for a fair while today, and then made the drive from there into like Benembra, is it, towards Omeo. And by that time it was starting to get late, so like, oh, we'll see what we can find around the area for camps. We had a look on the map. We just sort of headed out town a bit along the river here, and we'll make this our camp for the night. We're all getting pretty worn out. Very hot out here in, you know, this time of year. It sort of wears you out, so yeah, keen to get to camp and get a fire going and have some dinner. Cooking up a little bit of Hokkien noodle stir fry for dinner tonight. Got a couple of packets of these noodles and then just got a heap of veggies cooking at the moment. Cooked some halloumi a minute ago, and yeah, now we're about to cook these in some water, and then we'll mix it all together with some sauce. Some sweet chili sauce and some vegetarian stir fry sauce. What?
You didn't want to say that.
Well, no, because I thought it was oyster sauce, and I was like, wait, it's not oyster sauce. Is it oyster sauce?
No.
We'll do a quick run through of the camp setups this morning that we're all using for this trip. I'll start with Dad. Alright, quick run through of Dad's camp setup here. So starting, you got the table there?
Yeah, a table, slide out trailer, table out of the set. It comes out above the drawer here.
And then you got to pull out, slide out drawer.
Slide out drawer, full of camp supplies.
How long have you had this drifter drawer set up now?
I'll go with 2.5 years.
And happy with it?
Yeah, it can't fall to pieces. It just seems to take what it gets.
And then angle fridge you got with it too?
Yeah, same deal. I turn it on a couple of hours before I go camping. It goes from 20 degrees to 2 in all of 20 minutes.
And then you got a 100 amp hour lithium battery in there somewhere to run it. And then you got an awning, drifter stocked an awning there, you use when it rains.
Yeah.
Your sleep set up over there.
Flick open stretcher, which gets you off the ground.
You much prefer sleeping on a stretcher now, don't you?
Yeah, it'd be hard to go back to sleeping on the ground after this.
And then you just got the crash pad swag on top.
Feels better than bed at home to me. Being that you're looking at the stars helps.
And then in the back you just chuck stuff in the back of your car here too.
Diesel drums, which will fuel up at some stage as we get further into the bush. And I've got the 40 litre water holding system. I'll put taps on both sides of this now.
So that's the Outback Equipment 40 litre water tank sits down behind your back seat there, which
you never hear the water in it. It's only got a litre in at the moment and I haven't heard it. I want to get to the right stream up here in the high country and fill it up with clean water.
Yeah, that's a pretty good water setup to run there behind the back seat. And that's about it.
As good a one person setup as you'll ever get for camping. Yeah, want to be a good hitchhiker to let them in the car.
Alright, you want to run through your camp setup?
There it is, boys. Rooftop tent.
And then the Patrol doesn't really have a camp set up much in it at all yet because it's still being built. So it's kind of storage vehicle really at the moment. It's just got stuff chucked on the back seats and in the back here to free up the other cars a bit. It does have a 50 litre cold esky in the back that we keep ice in, so a bit of extra cold food storage there. Got like your fold out table at the back. Got the front runner table up on the roof rack there if we need a bit more. And then the only probably main thing we keep using on this trip is a 270-degree awning, which is unreal. I love that awning. It's easier to set up than the normal awnings and it gives much more shade and space under it. And then for the nav, it's got a front runner table under the roof rack as well, which is out over there now. We've got all the Drifter 3 camp chairs. Kai's in the 23-0 single swag Bandit. First trip away using that. He seems to be happy with it. Hey Kai, Do you want to give a swag review? So we're here with Malachi Thompson, who's going to give us a...
I mean, we're a bit early.
We lock him in there at night so he doesn't disturb the neighbours.
It zips and it unzips.
That's what you want.
And then you can like lift it up, then inside, but there's also comfy cushioning that comes with it. This comes with the swag, guys.
Disclaimer, doesn't actually come with it.
Yeah, no it doesn't, Dad. We're trying to get better sponsors here.
What, a pillow sponsor?
You can get out and slip your thongs on. March flies get in, so you gotta shut it and zip it.
So is that it? Interview over?
See ya.
Alright, thanks for the interview. On the back seat I got some clothes and I got some food storage boxes both sides, camera gear in the middle, and then we got the ultimate touring game changing tray and canopy set up. So obviously you got your slide out drawer table, drawer here. So it's all built by G-Works tray and canopy setup, and then Hastings Auto Electrical did the dual battery system, which is all a Red Arc Red Vision system. So you got your screen here that you can control and run everything on. It's got lights all through it. So I'm just charging like my laptop and some camera gear at the moment. It is like the ultimate dual battery system, but for me, just because I charge so much camera gear and stuff on the road, that's really why I need it. Got a slide out pantry here, which you can then access all your stuff in the side. Got the, can't reach it, got the Bushman's 85 litre fridge there. It's pretty filled full up at the moment. And then we got the ladder to the rooftop tent. We got the 1.2 Wildlands rooftop tent. Spare 20 litres of diesel in there. Actually for water, it's got a 60 litre water tank underneath, so that runs off the tap on the side there. So you press the button and out comes your water there. Spare tyre, rubbish storage bag, and then more charging points on this side, and then this is more open to fit all your gear. So I got like a chainsaw, got the fire pit, some more clothes bags, got like some spares and bits and pieces in there. Shelf up the top there, which keeps bedding and towels. Got recovery gear in these two side toolboxes. That's about it for our camp setups. Packed up camp and popped down the road a little bit because Dad went for a walk this morning and found this awesome spot. We kind of wish we had a camped here. It's the usual story. You get into camp late somewhere and then just down the road there's an even better spot. But yeah, vehicles parked up here, and then this massive open swimming hole here on the river. Looks awesome. We're gonna jump in. That was an absolutely amazing spot there. Swam there for an hour or so. It was so nice in the sun. Got a monster rut on the way up out of here. You don't have to go this way, but Dad's gonna come first and give this big rut a go and see what happens. It's quite a deep hole there to get you cross axled, and you definitely need probably 2 lockers. Dad's only got the rear, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, that's a no-go for the MUX, just swallowed it whole. We'll get Demi to come up in the patrol and see what that thing will do. There's Kai up on the hills taking photos, and there's the size of that hole. It's like head height for a kid in there. That didn't really get close at all.
Yeah, it didn't look it.
Dad's keen to have a go at the patrol, so he tried in the MUX, now he's going to try in the patrol. Your front locker's not in. Yeah, go back and do one motion through it. Alright, now you gotta walk to your car.
Fix this shit.
You just had to have a bit of a real go. Yeah, the first time you were going a bit too soft.
Well, your flame said to me, "Don't hurt me, baby." And then on the second hit, she said, "Fang it." So I had to go through the phase.
How'd it go? How'd it feel?
Oh, excellent, because that's all of 80 metres I've now driven that Nissan. So I
Yeah.
started 20 foot away from a pretty decent obstacle. and the plushness of it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like the big front.
Yeah, like that's why I said just hit it in there a bit because it handles
Yeah.
it like it feels like it's lands on sponges.
That's right, and that's what held me back, because I thought this is normally a hard hit to do anything like that. But
yeah,
that
like it's a
thing
big
just-
whack.
That thing glides like a bird.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you just launch it up over things, and like that thing feels like you just jump it and it wouldn't worry it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
But yeah, that suspension feels good.
Yeah, it's like I drove 2 cars just then.
Yeah.
I got in the first car and tried to do the little grovel that you do, and then I thought, no, this is a real car, give it the rev.
Yeah.
And away it went to it. I was ready for the world.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's crazy how different it is compared to
Yeah.
ours. You made it.
Come to get my car.
Did you click those lockers out or are they still in?
No, they're still in.
Okay, you just have to
Remember,
take.
remember what I went through with you, don't hurt me baby to give it to her.
The conditions of these tracks, 'cause here we are up the, well, here, it's about 9:30 at night now. It's nearly awesome night up here. So you feel that weight and it just it just buries down more and really like cooking up a little bit of hokkien noodle stir fry for dinner tonight. Got this absolutely